All right, y'all. So I'm not sure if I cut in the last one or not. Too, I had to cut it earlier because of uh, we were getting ready to leave from our lunch, and so I kind of got error. But I'll recap everything I want to talk about. Right now, it is now on. It is now Sunday technically. It's like 1:30, probably 1:25 in the morning because that time that alarm clock or whatnot, it somehow magically gets like 10 minutes ahead of the actual time or something like that. No joke. My wife corrected that like once already, and it still went faster than the microwave in our own phones. I shrug and I don't know why. So anyways, I went over my mornings and my the winnings and stuff like that. And yeah, I was 4 for wins, 1 for tie, 4 for losses. And I needed 19 points to get into the second round. I wasn't too sure because the last night was kind of weird. The Arcanine was showing that I had like additional points and stuff like that. So I was like, what was going on? Come yesterday or Saturday morning, I did stop by at the convention just to make sure, like, hey, am I still in this then or whatnot? I'm like, I was confused. And then like literally 4 minutes before 9 o'clock hits, they finally updated everything, and it showed me that I was actually dropped. I probably have the screenshot for it up there at this point. And I was like, okay, so that made a little bit more sense when I got dropped. I was like, okay, it was finally official. There was a little part of me that was still like, well, I might not have the points or whatnot, but like I'm not too sure. It wasn't clarified or anything, so I wasn't too sure. And I want to try and see where I didn't feel like it was right in my mind where it's like, okay, I lost, but I didn't have anyone officially told me you lost, Briston. So I'm not one to take no laying down. I want to make sure that, again, the bug analogy, I ain't done until I'm like stomped underneath your boot and scraped right off. And that's basically what had happened. I finally found out, like, I was scraped off finally, where I'm like, I got dropped. I had a judge like kind of like walk me through the process a little bit because I'm like, I don't know, to me, and I explained it the same way, like, to me, this was just a large local tournament. So I'm like, I'm still playing, but I don't have the full understanding of the rules or whatnot, what's going on, explain some stuff to me. And they go like, and then also an Arcanine team member was at the table too. And they were kind enough to explain things to me and let me know like, hey, yeah, so like it didn't really fully update it then, but yeah, you were dropped. You did not have enough points to get into the second round for today. Sorry about that, but did you have fun? Of course I had fun. I had a lot of fun. I'll say that in a little bit too, but yeah, I want to say thank you for all my challengers. Regardless if it was a win, loss, or a tie, I had fun nonetheless. And so like the judge explained to me like, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Unfortunately, there's nothing else for you. You will be getting points. We'll find out what your rankings are, but right now we're still trying to like get that assessed. We need to go through the second cut at this point before we get to the top cut. And that's where the Arcanine team member chimed in too, like letting me like, oh yeah, because like so the system didn't get updated. It got updated this morning here. Sorry for the confusion. If you thought that you were so participating, but unfortunately no, you just didn't have enough points here, so the system had you dropped out. And then we're gonna try and get that updated later today. I haven't checked actually to see whether or not it updated or not, but I was kind of curious what my rankings are because like, there was a total of 4,500 and some odd players. It started with 4,800 and I think 300 dropped out completely. So there was 4,500 players overall. I kind of want to know where I sit in that. Not so much so it's like, I just want to know 4,500 players from around the world, not just nationally here in the United States, but around the world also came here today. It is the second biggest Pokemon tournament in the entire world. I kind of want to know where I sit. I just want to know myself, just for a personal accolade, just to say like, hey, I competed amongst 4,500 players. This is where I settled. I wasn't number 1. I wasn't top 4. I wasn't top 10 or even the top 512, unfortunately. But I still got on the rankings. Where am I? I just want to know, out of sheer curiosity. So I want to look that up and see where I sit in all of this. But yeah, it was funny because I didn't really talk about it too much I didn't even do a filming of it on Friday. I was, you know, I was kind of like, okay, so like, I don't know, I don't know. 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 I wouldn't say I was completely disheartened. It was more like a relief. That's the best way I would describe it. It's kind of weird. And you might be thinking, like, why are you relieved, Briston? And let me elaborate a little bit more, because I didn't really film too much of the whole lead up to the NAIC. I filmed mostly of the trip beforehand, and then I'm at the NAIC. And the beforehand, the things that I was doing before the NAIC, I was building myself up and just having this stress of, like, it's just, I think anybody feels this. Maybe, like, the more I can describe it at a local level is like at a cup. You have your normal tournaments, and you're just going there. You're having fun no matter what. Like, I think that's the basic point of playing the game, is just to have fun. Win, lose, tie. You're having fun playing a fun match, though. That's the important part. And then you get to the next one over, which is your challenges, and you're trying to get a little bit more serious, bringing some of your A game. And then the cup, you're bringing your S rank stuff or your S plus rank stuff, right? And that's when we go to the NIC, and that's where you're trying to bring your S plus plus stuff. Just trying to be at the top of the game. So beforehand, like a month or two beforehand, even when I was going into the NIC, I was just stressing myself out that I wanted to win. So I was trying to come up with a more efficient deck to play with. And for a good while, I was playing with my Cerulege deck, but even post-rotation, it wasn't really doing enough to really hit my mark against a lot of meta decks. So then I was trying to find my next one. I found Joltik box, and then I also found, I like to call it the Meraiden box, and then modifying it to have something that I like it more so with, like more aggressive stuff, more pulling and things like that, because I understood the weaknesses of the deck, and I kept trying to fine tune it and trying to tweak it to the way I like it. And when I finally participated in I think that was the third cup I've ever played in, and I finally won a cup with that same deck, I was like, oh my goodness, this is the deck, this is what it's meant to be. But then I had lost the subsequential cup the next week, and then I also lost a tournament with it the following week too. And I started, it was just going down the line, like, hey, am I second guessing myself? Maybe winning the cup was a fluke, but I won a cup. I shouldn't have that. It shouldn't be a fluke. Especially I won against some really heavy hitting meta decks like the Gardevoir deck. Why should I stress out? But matchups in my other cup and the regular tournaments, I just didn't fare that well. And it's just mostly the things that we can't control, and things I talked about in some of my interviews too. As much as we know our decks and play it very, very effective and efficiently, we can't control the RNG of the game, the luck of the draw, if you will. That's something you can't control. And so I was trying to figure a way, like, well, what would be my better options? What could be a better play? Especially now that the NIC is also going to feature probably newer meta decks, since the new set dropped 2 weeks beforehand. So the last 2 weeks before the NIC, I was stressing myself out because I wanted to win. And I was trying to find that right deck for me, and whether I should play a brand new deck, maybe go back to my old deck, maybe use the same deck. I wasn't too sure. And then all in all, as you saw, I decided to go with my Joltik box. I felt like it complemented my play style as much as my Cerulege deck complemented me. And as much as I have fun playing with the Team Rocket's Porygon online, I didn't feel like it would be competitive enough, if that makes sense. So, and I look back at those matches, and I'm trying to think back to if I had used my Cerulege deck, or if I had used my Porygon deck, would it had suffice? And honestly, I don't think so. I think the matches would played out differently, but I probably wouldn't have pulled off the wins I would have pulled off with my Joltik box like I did. Everyone I fought against, they did a fantastic job. Either they were using a deck that they truly enjoyed and loved, or had played with a deck that they just felt very comfortable with, that they found and played with it from that point. All walks of life, all different styles, even playing with some of the newer meta decks too. Everyone had a great time overall. I think we were all having fun. I was really happy enjoying that. And I think that was the most important part about playing a game to begin with. Yeah, it'd be nice to actually win and get a lot of that money and stuff like that, but I think kind of talked about this or mentioned this earlier too. I think it's kind of like that main character syndrome, and I don't have that. I know the vlog kind of sounds like oh yeah, it's all about me and stuff like that. Like, but I don't look at myself like a main character. I think of myself more like a Krillin, if anything. I think it's funny because I'm wearing Dragon Ball Z, and funny enough, I'm wearing my broken Saiyan armor, which makes sense now that I've lost two. Reality sake, I didn't wear that just for the theatrics or whatnot. I have two different sets of armors, which is the regular one and the broken one. Anyways, besides the point though. But I look at myself as just like anybody else. I'm no mythical being. I'm not some higher person or whatnot. I'm just some average schmuck. I'm just your average regular guy, just trying to make it in life. I don't do anything special. Sorry to say I'm not that special. Even though I have my own YouTube channel, but I think anybody can get a YouTube channel and whatnot. As long as you put time and effort into it, it'll grow. Yeah, I'm like, I was going into this tournament and I was like, not really having that whole main character, but I wanted to win too. I don't think anyone doesn't want to go there wanting to lose, to be honest. Everyone plays again to win. And losing doesn't feel awesome, but at the same time too, you gotta look at the positives or the silver lining in things. And when playing this, even though I didn't win, I still got to do some awesome stuff. I'm pretty sure as we were going along with the vlog here, getting to see some other things too. The losing, the NAIC got me the chance to come along on an adventure. Break away from the norm of my life of like, hey, I do play tournaments and it's at the local level, but like I got to venture across, like not across, but like a small portion of my own country, going through the US, going down, sightseeing stuff and whatnot, visiting places I've never been to, never seen other than like on like movies, shows, or like like some Discovery Channel thing or like Travel Channel kind of a thing, right? And not only that, I got to travel with my family. My wife, my two kids, we just got to explore and check out new sites together as a family. Again, things I haven't done before exactly. And it's kind of nice because when you think about it too, like the whole thing about Pokemon, and I don't know how y'all feel about it, coming only from a trading card game standpoint, but I come from it from a multifaceted point. For me, Pokemon in my life has always been about, like the video games, the anime, the cards, manga at times, I guess. But it's always been about adventure, right? It's growing out of your own comfort zone, your own home, to go on your own grand adventure with your friends and making new friends along the way too, and try to achieve some kind of major goal, or like of course being the Pokemon champion. And you know what, sometimes it's not as straightforward as it is sometimes in the games where it's like an easy win. Sometimes you get those easy wins, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's gonna be a struggle or it's a fight. But in the end, you're trying to reach your goal being a champ. But I don't think about champ in the terms of games, like, in life itself. Not everyone's gonna become a champion, Not everyone's gonna be like the number one player. There's only room for one, right? And of course, only one who's going to be really, really fantastic and awesome is going to succeed. Or by pure luck too. You never know. Sometimes there's that imposter syndrome that happens. Sometimes it's funny, when I went into the NIC, I felt that huge imposter syndrome. Like, I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't have the privilege of playing against all these players because I'm just some ordinary dude that enjoys playing Pokemon. Be it the video games or the card game, I just enjoy playing Pokemon. I love the Pokemon franchise. I didn't think I'd get this far, to be honest. I really didn't think I would get that far. So, yeah, I went here, went on a little adventure, and even with me losing at the NIC, and didn't even make it to the second round, essentially, like the second day, it wasn't really a lose, because it gave me time with my family. It gave me time with my family to experience something new, got to check out the convention itself, got to visit places throughout New Orleans, got to visit the Mississippi River, check out some cool, like zoo-esque stuff, so an aquarium, insectarium, and just, and enjoy new foods too. I never had a po' boy before, and That was awesome, alongside with some great Cajun-esque food. I don't think I would have ever experienced any of that if I never went to the NAIC, if I never went on my own Pokemon adventure. That's why I was kind of looking at this entire vlog thing. It was just, it is like my own actual Pokemon adventure. But then, it's not so much so as like there's an end game goal of getting to becoming an actual champion. And I kind of feel like this reminds me of the Sun and Moon games. I know some people don't like the Sun and Moon games because it deviates so much from the whole like gym challenges or gym leaders, and then getting to the victory road for the Elite Four / Pokemon Championship. No, you're going to do the like island challenges and stuff like that. And I feel like it's kind of like that, just going on a fun adventure, enjoying the sights, enjoying going on an adventure with friends, meeting some new friends along the way too, or old friends as well, and just enjoying it. Just enjoy the trip, enjoy the experience. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes down to this. Because I know out of the 4,500 players, only a handful are really going to be the top players. And I want to say, not trying to like denigrate anyone, like you're never going to win it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying always, kind of like my approach, be that pessimistic optimist, right? Know that there might be a good chance you might not win. But in the event that you do, that's awesome. That's great. But otherwise, if not, that's okay. Let's look at the positive things in what we were experiencing so far. And you know what? Rather than just being doom and gloom, like, I didn't win the NAIC or like, I'd rather look at the better things in my life at that point. And it's still today for me, but technically yesterday, because I haven't gone to sleep yet or whatnot. But for me, I got to spend time with my family on an adventure that I would never had done if it wasn't for this opportunity. So that's an adventure for me. What's the end game of it all? It's like, oh, aren't you gonna become the Pokemon champion? I'm like, that's not my life's goal, at least. And I think when people say like, what's your life goal? I'm gonna do the cheesy answer, and I'm gonna say 42. If you're a Hitchhiker's Guide from the Galaxy reader or watcher, I know some people might not enjoy the movie or not, but if you get the reference, 42. And what does that mean? I think, the whole meaning of life thing is 42, or what you want to make of it. What if you know what the 42 meant? It was the author was an Isaac II enthusiast, and of the numbers, 42 is a symbol for an asterisk. And if you know what the asterisk symbol it means on a lot of things, it's usually whatever the user inputs it to be, which implies number 42 means whatever you want it to be. So I know my vlog might not be the most optimistic in terms of like, hey, like winning it all, but you know what? I've already said it before too, in some of my quotes that I love to go by, never give up, never surrender. That's true. Never, don't have no in your heart. But life's a garden. Dig it and make something of it. Make it work for you. And I think that's some really, really important stuff, We're not always going to be winners, but you know what? We can make something of those experiences. Learn from them. This is going to dissuade me from going to the next NAIC. No, I hope that I'm able to go to the next NAIC, because from what I understand, it's always hard to enter into it, from what I was told. But you know what? I hope I'm going to have the opportunity to go to the next NAIC. Maybe next time I'll get higher up. Maybe I can make top 10. Maybe top 4 or top 1. Never know. But you can't have no in your heart, and you got to just keep trying. This time around, it didn't work for me. But that's okay. You know what? I got to spend time with my family. That's more precious to me than anything else. More precious to me than something that I really do love, which is Pokemon. It's more than that. I couldn't be any more happier. And I got to share an amazing experience with 9 different amazing players themselves. Got to experience different types of decks, other players, little tweaks, little workarounds with them, and got to experience some of the newer meta too. So surprisingly, I didn't run into Marnie's Grimmsnarl. That's the one thing I was very surprised. Everyone talked about it, but I did not run across that. So what's going to happen going forward, Briston? Well, I mean, kind of business as usual, almost, you know. I'm at the end of my adventure here at the NAIC. Tomorrow, I will be going to the Pokemon Center with my family, and after that, we got to make our big road trip back home. And yeah, just relish all the things that we got to experience. I think that's pretty much it. That kind of sums it up for me, at least. It's not bittersweet by any means. Again, I'm sad that I didn't win. Yeah, I think anybody would be disappointed and sad that they didn't win. And to the other, 4,000 plus players out there, yeah, I'm totally in your boat, and I totally understand where you're coming from. But you know what? I hope you all had fun, and I hope you were also able to make your own NIC adventure your own, and being able to do something fun and amazing outside of the tournament itself too. I think that these things give a really great opportunity. And again, this is my first NIC, and you know what? I had a blast. Had a lot of fun. Even though the build up to it was very stressful and things like that, that's okay. In the end, it's all an experience. It's all a roller coaster ride with its ups and downs, the thrills and the chills, that sort of thing. I'm happy about it. I'm really happy. It's a great experience. All right, I think I'm going around in circles. I can't think of anything else to add. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm going to miss something. Who knows? I probably will, and I'll try to address it later on. But yeah, a lot of fun, y'all. A lot of fun. Anyways, have a good night and peace.